Well, today is World Braille Day, and to celebrate, a unique art installation is being opened in London. Visitors to the Power of Touch will wear special glasses so they can experience the distinctive Braille art in much the same way as a blind or partially sighted person would. Now, the artist behind the exhibition, Clarke Reynolds, joins us now. Very pleased to have you here, Clarke. Good morning to you. Happy New Year.
Good morning. Happy New Year. Happy World Braille Day.
Happy World Braille Day. Tell us a little bit about this exhibition.
So the exhibition is at Qantas Gallery. It's down Fashion Street in London. And it's my first ever solo exhibition in London. And Power of Touch literally says what's on the tin. You know, when you go into galleries, there's always big signs saying, don't touch the art. But in my exhibitions, there's signs saying, do touch the art. And you're exported to becoming a child again. And that's really important with my art, the idea of engaging with the art, taking you back to somewhere that's happier times. Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about that then, so you can get up close and personal, get your hands on and feel through. So talk to us about the work then. So what is it you're feeling?
I'm a Braille artist. Ironically, you call me like a Braille typographer. Mm-hmm. So typographers work with letters. I work with dots, literally, as you can see on what I'm wearing. And the idea is, as a sighted person, it's visually stunning. So you'll look at it and there is a code. People get codes.
Excellent.
So you can actually decode what's written, mm-hmm. and then you decipher it with your friends or your siblings, your children, because children love decoding. Mm-hmm. And then, as a blind person, we can physically go up and touch the whole work, and you can actually decode it through touch. So it's like it bridges the gap between tactile and a visual world.
Mm. And obviously, this is the first kind of exhibition of its kind like this, is it? Or have you done this sort of thing before? To have it be so sort of interactive for people?
Well, my artwork is always interactive. So last couple of years, I've had solo shows in the south. I'm from Portsmouth, so I've had shows at Aspects Gallery, at Yellow Edge Gallery, and the base in Newbury. But anyone who's an artist, sight or non-sighted, the dream is to exhibit in London. It always has been. It's the mecca for the art world. So this is my first solo show at Qantas. And I hope what I want to show is someone like myself who has a disability or has the word blindness in front of them can still coexist in mainstream art. That's so important to me because, unfortunately, what I do, even because I've got the word disability or blindness in front of me, it's seen as a hobby. Mm. That's how society sees me in the creative industry. So what Qantas is doing is showing the world that a blind person can compete with the likes of Damien Hirst, Tracy Emin, Anthony Gormley.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that it's still not... Your work isn't... I mean, those are obviously amazing artists.
Yeah.
We're going to put you in the same category as them.
Why not?
Not yet, exactly. Why not? Why not?
Why not? Exactly. I've been told my whole life, I grew up in a council estate, I grew up without culture, I grew up without those connections in the art world. I was told I can never be an artist. I lost my sight, I can never be an artist,
So was this always something that you wanted to do?
Always, from the age of 6. There was no other career for me. I lost my sight in my right eye from the age of 6. I went to a gallery, and I knew from then, at age 6, I wanted to be an artist. I knew. I done it deep down inside, I knew. Yeah. Unfortunately, I left school in my teens due to bad kidneys. But I'm a fighter. I got back into higher education. I got my degree in art, degree in model making. Mm-hmm. And then 9 years ago, I started losing my sight in my other eye. So I had to give up my career as a dental model maker. But it wasn't like, oh, my God, I'm going blind. It was like, right, I'm going to be that artist I always wanted to be as that 6-year-old. And that brings us back to the art that I do now. I want that experience, no matter your age, to go to this exhibition at Qantas and to experience it as a 6-year-old. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it does, because the sort of the naive brain is able to really connect with things in ways that adults, when we rationalise and try and analyse things too much, we often can't do.
That's right. People think that you can't appreciate art if you don't understand art. The idea of having an art history. Oh God, I've got to really understand what this banana is representing. But for me, art is for everyone. And breaking down boundaries with my art and having conversations that we're having right now. I mean, the best thing for me that I've done. The art is great, but the best thing is I go into a lot of schools. Mm-hmm. I engage with over 1,000 children, and I teach Braille. And then I talk about sight loss, because let's start breaking down barriers of sight loss and what sight loss is. That's so key. If we can change those perceptions, that next generation of children growing up, then the stigma attached to me will never happen to the next generation of visually impaired children growing up. And that's so important.
And talk to us about that importance, and about you know, being able to overcome those challenges and also sort of serving as an inspiration to people to see what you can achieve, even if barriers are put in your way?
The barriers that are put in my way is what society tells me what I can do as a blind person. Officially, the only thing I can't do as a blind person is drive. Even though I've got a driving licence, I can still probably drive a car, but officially I can't do it. I mean, I've jumped out of a plane. I played blind cricket for Hampshire and Sussex.
Any good?
I was opening batsman. You know when England was playing really rubbish?
Yeah.
I thought
there was a time where
I could rock up. They should have picked me, really. So I've embraced. It's really weird. I've embraced the word blindness. I love being blind because I'm making a difference. You know, the best thing could have happened to me was a couple of years ago. I did a Braille trail at Victorious, huge music festival. You imagine 50,000 people. I was working with a team called Seekers. We did a Braille trail, and I walk around with this yellow suit, hand out maps, my white cane, and a young girl came up to me with her dad, and the dad said to me, "Can this young girl touch my suit?" I said, "Of course." So I got my knee. She's about yay high, about 5 years old. And then the dad asked the girl, "Why do you want to touch the man's suit?" And the girl, her name was Etta, she says, "Daddy, because I'm blind." And we had the most amazing conversation. She lived locally. She comes to all my exhibitions. And that young girl changed my life, how I saw, right, this is what I want to do. I want to be an inspiration for her so that she sees me working in this creative industry or doing things that a blind person shouldn't be doing. And that way she can turn around to her parents and say, "You know what? I want to do that because Clarke can do that."
You said that barriers have been put in your way by society. Do you think that's still the case now? We're of a similar age, and I wonder how it's been sort of going through life, how you feel like it's changed. You know, 2023 now, things are meant to be more open for people who aren't, you know, the status quo.
It's really strange. Obviously, it's that kind of postcode lottery, I think it is, in a way.
Right.
Obviously, I'm from Portsmouth, and then when I travel and I do things, I look at how the access is in that place. And for me in Portsmouth, trying to make it the most accessible, inclusive place in the
city
UK.
to get around.
To get around.
Yeah.
And also Braille. We go back to Braille. It's like, I learnt Braille, but I can't physically use Braille, if that makes sense.
Right.
I can't go to a restaurant and ask for a Braille menu.
Yeah.
I can't. Toilets are the easiest thing to put Braille on. Right. I could put my hand out, and it's like if that's a male, a female, unisex, disabled, but I can't. And a lot of people, visually impaired people, go into the wrong gender toilet. It's so embarrassing. Why isn't there a Braille out there? And why is Braille that small dot? Make it big, make it bold. You speed read, I can speed touch.
Right.
You know, let's embrace the power of the dot. And that's the beauty of what my art does. And hopefully when people come to the exhibition at Qantas next week and for the next month, they come away with a feeling of, I've learnt something. Because I make you work for my art.
Nothing wrong with that, working and learning a little something. Clarke Reynolds, we really love to speak to you.
It's been fantastic.
You've got the promo right there as well, so people hopefully will be going to that exhibition starting next week. Thank you very much for coming in. Really appreciate it. Thank you.